everyone.
It's working. It's working.
Hey, so I am going to be talking to some friends of mine today. Loserfruit and Cray, who's not the DJ, different.
Not the DJ, the Cray of gaming. It's completely different.
We're doing spooky stories, paranormal experiences. And,
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Alison Wonderland. And, we met in New York. We played Fortnite together.
Oh, that's how you guys met.
Yeah, and
man.
she thought I was ignoring her because I wasn't responding to messages, and I felt so bad. I felt so guilty.
I was in my hotel room. I'm like, why does she hate me? Is it because I'm bad at Fortnite? Like, I thought like I was the fail partner because I honestly had only started playing Fortnite that week, and I completely understand if you did feel disappointed with who you got because, I saw you building and I don't even know how you did that. So that was really impressive.
We had a great time. That's all that matters.
And hey, look, I'm just going to brag one time. One of the rounds, I did outlive you.
That's true. I had to watch her backseat around.
And then I was like hiding. That was my strategy. And what was it, like the mist or like the storm eventually caught up with me. But
yeah, that was what killed you. It wasn't pretty.
And in the chat when I got eliminated, it said Alison Wonderland eliminated Alison Wonderland. So that's how I died on Fortnite.
Going out on your own terms.
Honorable.
I'm not sure how to start this podcast today, to be honest with you, because paranormal stuff I don't really generally believe in, if I have to be honest with you.
Starting it off like that.
You know what?
Damn, okay.
But I
am
am
fuck
easily
you up on a
spooked.
spiritual level.
Okay, oh god. Oh god.
Do you believe in aliens though, Fruity? Do you believe in aliens?
No, I don't really.
You don't believe in aliens? Come on.
Not really, because I think we would have known by now, wouldn't we?
No life on other planets that maybe haven't visited us yet? Or like, you don't believe in like UFOs or anything? Nothing?
I hope so. But like, I believe it when we find it.
How about you, Alison? Do you believe in aliens? Let's start with aliens.
I believe in everything. I believe that everything possibly exists.
Vampires.
I mean, we don't know. Here's the thing. The whole word supernatural is my favorite thing to talk about because supernatural literally means something that we can't prove is natural or don't really like understand yet. When you think about like life even 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, say when there was a blood moon or an eclipse, people thought, to them they didn't understand the science behind it. So to them, they were like, okay, this is supernatural and thought it was, the spirits doing it or something like that. And so for me, in my head, like everything eventually will have an explanation. I believe that people have had experiences. I believe that we are not the only people in the universe, like not the only living beings.
Oh, I agree with that too. But I just don't believe we'll ever, if there was something else, that we'll ever actually encounter them in our universe. I don't think we'll ever do it if we haven't already.
Oh, like we'll never like Elon Musk will never fly us to like the outer rim of the galaxy and like meet aliens. You never think that'll happen, Fruity?
I don't think so. I don't know. I would like to believe it, but I have trouble believing it. That's the problem. I would like to. I don't want to say no, but I guess if I can't disprove it, anything could happen. So I'll just go with.
That's the thing. Like, unless you can prove that something doesn't exist, the possibilities in it existing is, there. And so I don't like to dismiss anything, really. I have a very open mind. I've definitely...
that's actually a really cool like way of living. I really like that. Not to cut you off, but that's actually a really good like philosophy and attitude towards like the paranormal or the supernatural. It's like if I can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. I really like that.
I think this is going to be a really sick night because we're going to be talking about this and discussing it. If we all agreed on like things existing or not, then this would be really fucking boring. So I'm really excited about this for sure.
For me, I believe in like aliens and like, outer space life and stuff like that. But I personally don't believe in ghosts or spirits. The only reason my opinion on that has been like affected so much is because my dad's a funeral director and I lived on top of a funeral home like my whole life. Yeah, for like, you know, maybe like 12 plus years of my life, and I'm 27 now. So a majority of my life, I grew up on top of a funeral home, right? And, you know, I just never really experienced anything there that would, and that's where like the theories come in, right? Where like people say that spirits don't follow like bodies and stuff like that. But for me, my dad had experiences there, but I never did. And I always thought that was super interesting.
But you know what? Also, some people, I believe, are more intuitive or susceptible to picking up like other energies than others. I can't prove that ghosts exist. None of us can really. But I do believe that there is definitely, like, think about it. Even if it's not a ghost, have you ever seen like Interstellar, or where, you know, or like even let's talk about Stranger Things. I know this is all science fiction, but it is based on like real theories, like other dimensions and black holes. Like, we don't know where things go, you know, like we could just not be able to see like where we go when we pass, and it could just be another dimension, or it could be bullshit and it could be nothing. I personally like to believe that, you know, maybe for my comfort, that, you know, there is something that happens after we pass this life that carries on somewhere. I do. I don't know what it is. It could be scientific. Like, that's the thing. It could just be like microscopic, like atoms of energy that leave. And that's what a soul could be. And it is just like goes into a different, I don't know, like dimension or whatever. Like we just can't explain it. But like, you know, Interstellar was based on factual stuff and was highly researched. And I love that. Is this in the movie? Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, where they say that love is the only emotion you can like remember up in space. Really?
That's actually a pretty cool quote.
Is that true? Can you guys remind me if I'm right? Yeah, okay, someone said yeah. So anyway, so everything is connected, and I mean, I don't want, if you haven't seen Interstellar, I don't want to ruin it, but like it gets to a point where like it talks about being in other dimensions, or, you know, going through black holes and stuff, or trying to reach people, but you're not in the right dimension or whatever, and they can still feel that presence. Like, I don't really know. I wish I knew, you know, like it's kind of
like when people say they see ghosts or specters or something around, you know, you never know if that's a remnant of that person in a different dimension even. Yeah. I think that's a pretty cool theory. And like black holes and all that kind of stuff, they're so interesting, going into the event horizon and stuff. And yeah, that shit's so cool.
I don't wish to know, like, you know, what happens, just because then it's just too definite, you know, it's too definite. I don't want a definite answer.
I mean, like, the only thing that we really know that's definite in life is death and birth, which is definitely going to happen to all of us, and that we also shit and eat.
I love that we have common ground. All of us have commonality. It's so beautiful that we all shit.
And that's why we should never act like we're better than anyone, because everything's the same.
That's true. Oh my God, I'm going to think that next time I'm nervous to talk to someone. I'll just be like,
all the time. I think about it all the time. Like, honestly, you know, a lot of artists will say this, and I'm sorry, guys, like, we're all friends here. I know you're watching, but like, a lot of artists have this thing where before a show, they take a nervous poop. And it's like a thing. It's a thing. Oh. Like, literally every single artist I've spoken to, really famous or just starting out, says the same thing to me. And so when I meet like an artist or like a famous actor or someone that like I'm slightly starstruck by, I think they've definitely done a nervous poop. You know, like.
Well, I hope you know you've ruined every single show for me forever, because when I'm in the audience, I'm going to be looking up at you at the decks, at the DJ decks. I'm going to think, man, Alison just took a huge shit. That's crazy.
You know what, though? Like, I would rather do that before a show. Like, there's nothing wrong with pooping. Someone just said in the chat, nothing wrong with pooping. Here's the thing. I think that if anyone that, like, is really awkward about that kind of stuff, that's an insecurity on yourself. I think that, honestly, it's, you know, how much better do you feel afterwards? Like, come on.
Well, it kind of goes back into the idea of like, you know, seeing your audience or thinking of them, you know, in their underwear, I guess. You know, we're all human. So when you think of that, it's like, yeah, we're all just like bodies and, you know, we all got a poo.
Someone said, didn't Diplo do a mid-set poop? Is that true?
He's like, hold up, everyone. I'll be right back.
I respect that so much if that's
Love
true.
it. That's such a good attitude. That's so good.
Someone else just said they pooped today. Wow.
Congrats.
Yay. Yes,
We're proud
well done.
of you.
Well done. Proud of you. Proud of you.
I guess like when I hear something in my house, it's kind of like a spooky sound that is kind of unexplained in my mind. I think it's a murderer. I don't think it's like a ghost.
Oh, Jesus.
So I get my baseball bat. I get ready to go. You know, whoever wants to fight me. But I've never thought ghost, I guess.
Well, I've always thought if it was a ghost, he'd finna see these hands. You know what I mean? So I'm not afraid of no ghost. You know, I'll ghost bust his ass. I ain't afraid of nothing. Hell
So you
no.
vacuum cleaner and just
I'll get the vacuum cleaner. I'll be running around the house, you know. I'm not scared of it. No,
well, I'm
not
definitely scared of ghosts. I'll be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's one of my biggest fears. I'm scared of puppets, I'm scared of birds, and I'm scared of ghosts.
Oh, I hate puppets.
Oh, see, I'm not afraid of that kind of stuff at all. I'm more afraid of like, you know, real things like, you know, yeah, kind of like what you said, Fruity, like someone being in my house. I'm like, oh, good Lord, that's horrifying to me. You know, like real serial killer murderers. That's what gets me, you know. But when I think of a ghost, I think, you know, I don't know. I'm just not afraid of it. You know, I'm not sure. Just not scared of dolls or clowns or anything.
No, that shit freaks me out. Look, I'm going to come from a very different perspective. I've always felt things, and I've always had like really strong intuition. I've had things happen to me that I cannot explain a lot during my life. Even to this day, I had a dream last night where I had someone calling me in the morning telling me that their day had freed up. And this is someone I'd waited for. This is actually crazy because this happened to me last night. I was having really anxious dreams. And I don't want you guys to get excited about any collabs, so I'm not going to tell you who it was. But someone that I, you know, was really excited about possibly working with in my dream was texting me to wake up because their day was free and they wanted to work on something. And I woke up this morning and the text was, hey, you know, this is canceled. I've got the day free. Do you want to talk about blah? From the person.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, guys, it's not Lana Del Rey. If it was Lana Del Rey, this mascara would be running. I wouldn't be able to do a live stream because I wouldn't be able to function. Okay?
She'd be doing a lot of nervous poos, ladies and gentlemen.
I would be doing
a lot of nervous poos.
I would be 10 kilos lighter by the start of it. Anyway, so it's not, please stop guessing because you'll probably get it wrong. But anyway, so I got that text this morning. But a lot of stuff like this happens to me, like a lot. For example, years and years ago, my best friend has a house in Australia that I was staying at, and all night I was having this really scared, like fucked up feeling in my gut, like that something bad was going to happen. And so I was sitting there like texting all my friends to check they were okay and alive, basically. Like I was freaking out so much. And it got to like 3 a.m. and something in my mind goes, put all your belongings into a garbage bag and stick it under the bed you're sleeping in tonight. That was a literal feeling I had. And I'm very in touch with like listening to my intuition. So I went and got all the stuff that I had with me. Oh my God, my mom's calling. Sorry. She knows.
She knows.
She's definitely intuitive. But I got all this stuff. This is just one example. There's like so many examples. And I put it under the bed and I went to sleep and I thought I wouldn't sleep well that night. But I actually had one of the best sleeps I'd had. And I woke up at 11 a.m. the next day. That's how good my sleep was. To my friend being like, Al, like shouting from downstairs, being like, Al. And I'm like, what? And because I'd said to them, oh, I've got this feeling something bad's going to happen. Like, just be safe tonight, you know? Like, I kept saying it. I was freaking out. And while we slept, someone had broken in through the back door and taken everything. everything, and my belongings were fine. His laptop, his wallet, like everything was taken except my stuff that was fine under my bed.
That's actually crazy.
You can ask. It's
I believe you. No, that's just unreal.
And I've had like a lot of things like that happen to me where, I've had intuition about something where there's actually like a producer that I don't even know very well. And I was sitting in my hotel room. I remember I was in like Houston, Texas, and something came to me and said, "You've got to message this person." We'd never spoken, FYI. I didn't know anything about his life. And say this very specific thing to him. So I messaged him I DM'd him on Twitter. I said, "Look, this is going to sound really weird. I know we don't know each other, but blah, 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 specific thing." And he freaked out. And he's like, "Holy shit, how did you know that?" And I didn't know anything about his life. Here's the thing. If like things that we can't see are not real, how can you explain things like that?
On that point, as I've gotten older, some people might find this a little bit corny or whack, but I've started to believe a little bit more in like karma. And like things like that always remind me of that, and I've noticed that whenever I do bad things in my life, because we're not perfect and we all make mistakes, I always see that being kind of followed up later. So maybe that kind of intuition is like, I don't know, maybe a gift from karma, like put all your things in a bag, like something bad is going to happen to you. And because you've been a good person, maybe you deserve to, keep your belongings. I don't know, like a lot of people kind of don't believe in that stuff, but,
true.
I've always considered myself like a little lucky. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I've always been lucky, and I'm always lucky when I do good things, and when I'm really bad or nasty, or I maybe ghost a friend, or I don't do this, I don't do A, B, and C, that would have been good. It always comes around to bite me in the ass, and it sucks. It always gets me, and maybe that's linked to that somehow. No,
I believe in that sort of thing too. I don't know what it is, but there is something that brings certain things together. However, when I ever get a bad feeling, nothing bad happens. So like, so I don't
really.
Know. I don't really have that sort of. Yeah, no, I've never had that. I'm like, oh, something bad's gonna happen. Then it doesn't. I'm like, okay. Right.
Well, have
maybe
you ever had
like,
an experience?
Someone in a different country who is something like that. Maybe I don't know.
Well, have you ever had an experience like Alice?
I like if I'm driving and I have a good idea, or I'm about to do something that's kind of big, and I see the number 22, and I'm like, okay, I'm meant to do it.
There you go.
Right? Okay.
That's a
thing.
But is it because I'm searching for the 22?
There's a debate with that, because there is a philosophy about, like, say you're looking to buy a red car, all of a sudden you just only see red cars. It's a thing. But I do believe that, if you're randomly always seeing that number and then it goes away, like afterwards, it is trying to tell you something, and it could just be like your own peace of mind, your own comfort, like noticing that specific number and needing to see it at the time. So, like I also think that we use 10% of our brain. Some of us are probably have more of the intuitive side open. Like, here's the thing, I fucking suck at sport. I can't cook. I'm like really shit like at parties talking to people. I have like a lot of things I cannot do, and I don't have any skills for. But then there's other sides of my brain, like music or being intuitive, that I think are really strong. Also with intuition, it's like picking up energy, and like some people are just like more prone to it than others.
Is there anything else that you've kind of almost predicted?
Yeah, a bunch. Like I could go on and on. Like, okay, here's like a creepy one. When I was like 8. Or like 7.5. I was really close with my grandfather, and I still like feel very close with him. And I ran in and told my dad that that my grandpa was gonna pass away soon, and that it was gonna be breathing problems. And I was like overcome with this like sadness, and I like ran to the room and told my dad. And then like 2 weeks later, my grandfather passed away, and it was from pneumonia. And when he passed away, no one had ever explained death to me, but I knew he was okay. And it was like this, like, I was like, he's cool. And like, I remember I was really young. Like, stuff like this happens to me a lot, but sometimes it can be like a year or like 6 months where nothing happens to me. And then like, it's, a lot of things can happen at once, and I'm like just feeling really intuitive. But I'm not like sitting there trying to invite it. That's like something I don't really like to to delve in stuff, you know. I just trust my gut. I think that's important as well, to make sure that you know, anyone that's like watching this right now, like, I genuinely think you need to protect yourself, and so you should never like try and search for stuff.
First off, I'm sorry to hear about your loss. I know it was a long time ago, but still,
I was,
you know,
like, weirdly, like, understanding of it, which is really weird, because I've had, like, I lost a friend recently, which was really hard for me, and I wasn't understanding of that, you know, like, I was, it was just weird. And I think that, like, you know, I think that some people are just like more like intuitive than others, and
in tune with it. Yeah.
And I again, like, I don't even know if that's like a ghost thing or anything like that, which is why I don't like to, you know, but I do believe that there are things we can't see, because we're, you know, like, not to like put down humans, but we're like kind of like just like a slightly more intelligent animal on the earth, you know. There's
there's
so much
in a lot of ways. Logic
stuff.
is limited. So much things are limited and can't be explained. So
I have two unexplainable things that one of them didn't happen to me. So like I said, my dad was a funeral director, and we lived on top of a funeral home, and my dad would now and then you know, have these little experiences, but they weren't anything too intense. But we had this great big garage door, and it was like, if it was closed, let's just say you would know it was closed, right? If it was open, you would know it was open. There was just no way you could tell those two things. It was just that way. They were too big. They made too much noise. And so one day, my dad is downstairs, and he's vacuuming around and doing all of this kind of stuff and working. And he swears to God that the garage door was down, and he left the vacuum at the top of the stairs. And my dad is a very stern person, and like, he just wouldn't make up those kind of things. And he reckons that he came back and the garage door was open, and that was it. And he said he got goosebumps. He stood there for about 5 minutes just staring at it. He couldn't believe it. It didn't make any sense to him. And yeah, that was in a funeral home. Like, it could have been, you know, anything. Maybe he just forgot the door was open or something like that. But if you knew where I lived, it just doesn't, I don't know.
I just want to quickly say, Dylan Francis is in the chat right now. Everyone go say hey to him. He also asked me why I'm streaming in a toaster. I just want to clear this up. The lights behind me are there as a distraction, because if I move, you'll see I'm cleaning like a lot of my place up and like moving stuff around. So there's like speaker boxes and like my decks and everything behind me, and it looks like a trash pile. So,
I love that I can see your washing machine. I think that's my favorite thing about your background is I can see your washing machine.
Gotta be having a washing machine in your stream. If you don't have a washing machine,
wait, is that in your kitchen? What are you Americans doing? Washing machine in your kitchen?
There's a reason why I'm moving.
Oh, the other experience, to get back on topic, was I'll keep it quick because my stories aren't that interesting. They're kind of lame. But there was a old photo of my pop, and he's sitting down having a beer at the dinner table, and in the background there's a window with one of those old kind of, wait, what the hell do you call things that cover windows again? Blinds. And
what is
I
that?
swear, yeah, I'm sorry, I had a mental blank.
What's that thing you drink? Water.
But and then there's a face coming through the blind, and it looks like a demon kind of thing with like a great big eye and a small eye, and it's got a big grin. And that photo was taken, I think, a month before my pop died. And the way I found it was I was like 11 years old, and my dad had a photo of his dad, and I just pointed out the face, and it was the first time, you know, we'd ever seen it. And we were like reminiscing about my pop and stuff. And my dad called it an angel, but to me, I was like, Dad, that ain't no angel, bro. That's a demon. That ain't looking like no angel. Like, damn. But yeah, and that's my two stories. It's got to be around somewhere.
That's crazy that you grew up in a funeral home.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen like dead bodies and stuff before, but I think because, you know, I grew up with it, it's just very normal to me, you know, like, I think that's, just part of life, life and death and stuff like that. I think I was kind of introduced that maybe a little bit younger than a lot of people, because I did grow up in a funeral home from I think the ages of like 12 to like around 20-ish, something like that. And but to me it was just normal. It wasn't too intrusive on my life. Like, it's just what my dad did for work.
Did people come home? Did you invite kids over?
Oh, hell yeah, yeah. And everyone knew where I lived and where my house was.
You were the funeral guy.
I was the funeral home guy. No wonder I got no chicks at high school, dude. It was like, damn.
Maybe you're just the wrong chicks.
Maybe I needed the not to hang around with the cool chicks, Oh,
you hung around with the cool chicks?
I was cool from grades 10 to 12, but before that, I wasn't in the cool group. But then I weaseled and snaked my way in.
Must be nice. I don't know how that
feels. It was worse. It was terrible. I hated it.
I have a question.
Oh, no.
So, do you think that maybe you don't believe in any of that stuff because in the past it like did freak you out a bit? And it's like a defense mechanism?
Probably, yeah. And I like the defense mechanism. I'm someone who can't play scary games very well. So
okay.
Because I think something is going to attack me in real life. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So I just try to, avoid everything.
I would love to watch you play VR horror, Fruity.
Dude, I did that one time. Fuck that. Sorry. I couldn't... Like, the intro was, like, enough for me. That shit's so fucked up.
The intro.
I don't want to talk. Like,
I think I'm gonna have a heart attack in VR because of something.
Yeah, for real. Like, maybe you do like think like that because deep down you do believe in it.
I love horror. I love horror because it's scary. Like, I'm that guy who, when you're watching a horror movie or playing a horror game in VR, I got my hands up, I'm yelling and screaming, like blanket over my head. But I love it because of that. And when I played VR horror, I legitimately semi-forgot that I was playing VR horror, and an old lady demon ran towards me, and I have to admit, I threw hands. I just started throwing hands. I was petrified. I screamed like a little girl. I chucked hands. Scared the shit out of me.
Don't even know how you got that far.
It was great, though. You got to love, like, the fear, It's like, it's fun.
Horror movies, how they go for the Ouija boards or whatever they're called. They go for them. I don't understand why you go.
Ouija boards. If anyone's reading this, don't mess with Ouija boards. That shit is not cool. Like, for real. You don't know what you're doing.
My attitude towards like Ouija boards and like, even future tellers. What do you call them? People who tell the future? Fortune tellers.
No, let's call it future tellers, because that sounds
future
like
future tellers is 10 times cooler. But yeah, I stay away from all that jazz. Even though I don't believe in ghosts and that stuff, I'm just like, I don't understand it. I ain't touching it. You get out a spooky board game, like some Jumanji shit,
Someone
and
just said
I'm
Jumanji
not.
IRL in the chat.
Oh, exact. I ain't playing with it.
No.
Keep it away from me.
No.
Oh.
Also, my manager's in the chat, Garth. He was the guy whose holiday house it was that I freaked out at. He still thinks
Garth,
it was
you got demons following you, bro.
He still thinks it's a coincidence.
Do you watch many horror movies, Alison?
I can't. I freak out. So one of my songs was in The Haunting of Hill House, and I watched it. Yeah, I Want You was in it. I'm going
to watch that.
It was in the first episode. It was pretty cool. But I didn't even know that, usually I just get told, your song's going to be used in something. And I'm like, cool. I don't think about it. And then, like, months later, it's there. So I was told about this and I went to watch it, and it was like legitimately too scary for me to watch.
Okay, can I open up to you both about something that freaks me out to no end?
As long as you're open to like everyone in the chat too.
Yep, okay. I'm open. Everyone get a load of this. I am absolutely petrified of aliens. I hate them. I can't watch, what's that movie where they're at the farm and they've got like aliens in like the cornfield? I can't. What was that, Fruity?
Like the crop circles that they make with
I hate the crop circles. I hate aliens. I hate them. I hate UFOs.
What? I
can't stand aliens. I can stand ghosts. I'll suck up a ghost like it's nothing. I'll beat the shit out of
Nah,
ghosts.
fuck that. I'm anti. I
Not
can't
an alien.
handle ghosts at all. I'm so scared of them, and I'm so excited for aliens. I'm like the complete opposite of you. Yeah, like
you're crazy.
I don't care. Like, if it's the last thing I see on fucking Earth and aliens come down and they're like not good aliens, The last thing I want to see is a fucking alien, and I want to see a UFO. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Oh, I just got shivers. I just got goosebumps.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Man.
It's cool. I'm excited.
Would they come in peace, or like most people say they'll come down fighting?
Yeah, there's like a theory that I read on Reddit. There's a theory that aliens could view us like we view ants. You know, and that is petrifying to me.
Oh, true.
Like literally think of coming to a different planet where you are way more older. Like, I know that makes no sense, but, you know, civilization, the Earth has been here for 4 billion years, and civilization has really only been here for 2,000 years, like humans and shit, whatever. And it's like, imagine an alien people who have been around for 4 billion years since the beginning of time. Imagine that. And then they come here and they see us. They see us like ants.
Want that.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what else is? I would feel better. Like, if I found out that ghosts were just aliens from a different dimension, I would not be scared of them anymore.
That would make me scared of ghosts.
No.
You know, like if you told me aliens were ghosts, then I'm scared of ghosts. But
I'm not scared of aliens.
Happens,
I'm actually really hoping
whatever
it is, and I hope it's something that my brain couldn't even imagine that I see.
Are you just not scared of an apocalyptic thing? Like, are you scared of zombies?
No.
You're not scared of zombies? What?
The thing is, like, if I go out and this is how the world goes out, I want to fucking see that shit.
But we might be one of the first one to go, you know? I respect wanting to see the end, but, you know, like, I don't want to get eaten. That's number one. And I don't want to die first.
Okay, in my mind...
Yeah,
that's true.
An island.
Yeah, Australia would be fine. Yeah, maybe I'll just move back home.
But yeah, come back home.
So I've been, like, reading a lot of conspiracy theory stuff recently about a very specific thing related to aliens. Because I wanted to find out my blood type, okay? And this is getting a little personal, but it's fine. I wanted to find out my blood type.
Mm-hmm.
So I, got my blood taken and asked the doctor, I want to know, just for peace of mind, what it is. So I got my results back, and I'm a blood type called AB negative.
Right.
And only 0.6% of the world have that blood.
You're trying to tell us you're an alien.
Wait.
It's okay.
No.
Tell us. You flew down here in a saucer. Tell us about it.
So anyway, I was like reading about this because I was like, that's crazy. Like, I never heard about this like blood before, and they said, oh, like it's considered in a group called Rh negative, which is a group of blood types that is very small. Most people are positive, A positive, B positive, O positive, AB positive, and then the people that are negative are called Rh negative. And then I googled what Rh negative meant. And it means that basically, in like layman's terms, someone said I had selfish blood type. In layman's terms, Rh negative blood types do not carry the DNA of like the Neanderthal, and AB negative blood is the newest blood made.
Right.
So Rh stands for the rhesus monkey, which is what like the DNA and the blood types have in them. And Rh negatives don't have it. So, it's like really crazy. You guys should like go in and read about it. I'm sure there's like a very like boring thing for this, but then I got like reading into how some people, and I genuinely like I don't believe this. I'm pretty human, so I would say it's.
Oh no.
That's what they would say.
They were saying like because like there was all these like videos I was watching like because I couldn't sleep because I was too excited about my really weird blood type, and they were saying that they believe that like Rh negative and AB negative blood types, because it's like literally so rare, and they don't carry the Rh positive gene or whatever it's called, which most humans do, and should apparently, that they had interbred with some other beings.
Oh God.
that like wiped out like the Neanderthal.
So when like the aliens came down and made the pyramids, your ancestors they got a little freaky with the aliens. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I mean, I don't know. I all I know is that like my blood is like 0.6% of the world. I think that it just, it was obviously like the more we evolve, the more, we move on with our DNA or whatever. Like I don't really think it's like actually crazy. But anyway, it was just like really fun. Like I feel like there's so many like conspiracy theories out there that just like go back to aliens because they can't explain it. So I find that like kind of funny.
That's the best like scapegoat, right? Like for anything and everything. Like, man, just probably aliens did it, man.
Someone said Ancient Aliens season 11 episode talks about aliens and Rh negative blood.
Oh, I'm watching Action Bronson watch
what is
yeah, oh my god, I just found that show and I've been watching episode after episode. That would be my dream to be on that show. That is so good. Oh, it cheers me up every day.
It would be so good. I want to hear what other people know because I just want everyone to know. I recently found out about this. I have no idea like what I'm saying really about Rh negative because I don't know that much about it. But there are some people who have been in the chat who are like saying things that they do know about it. So please talk to me about the facts here. Someone said also, what is more believable, aliens, ghosts, or God? That's a good question. Aliens.
I think aliens are super believable, like, like we got these big ass telescopes that see all out to all these other like livable planets and stuff. That shit's scary to me. Like when we see like livable planet, oh, hell no. Nope, don't want to know about it.
We can prove that there could be aliens more than we can prove other things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah, 100%.
They found like organisms on Mars. So
there's organisms on Mars?
Yeah, in the
oh shit,
very small ones. This happened like.
You're gonna give me nightmares. I hate that shit. You should have lied to me. I hate that.
Yeah,
wait, do we have a first caller?
Yeah,
we got a caller.
To tell us the ghost
story. Yes. Okay.
Rainbow.
Hey, Rainbow. How you doing? Are you there?
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey, Rainbow.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, not too bad, dude. Do you want to tell us your story? Why don't you just go for it? Just hit us with it.
Okay. I'll jump right in.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this happened when I was in middle school, which was probably like 7 years ago. And I lived in Connecticut at the time in America. And it was a summer night. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning in bed. It was like very hot and humid. And at one point I was on my right side on the bed and I was facing the corner of my room. And if I were to turn to my left side, if someone were to walk in, I could easily see. So I was on my left side and I turned to my right side. As soon as I turned, I saw this tall shadow man like apparition enter my room. The shadow man wasn't really like see-through. It was I guess like a dark density, but I couldn't see any like features or anything.
Right.
So it walked in, and it walked to the edge of my dressing table, and then it turned like 90 degrees. Then it looked at me. What felt like a minute or so. I couldn't really tell the time. And then just walked out. And
it just left.
It just left. And the entire time, I was basically paralyzed. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. Like I tried to blink even, but my eyes were
sleep
fixated
paralysis
on this.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like, dude. Yeah.
That shit is scary.
I've had sleep paralysis before, and nothing really felt like it. Like sleep paralysis for me is like, I wake up from a dream and my body's paralyzed, but my brain's awake, and I, try to move my head, but I can't. But this I was awake different? The entire time. Yeah, I was awake the entire time. So I don't really know what to call it, but yeah.
And you couldn't speak or anything? You couldn't say anything?
I tried to scream, I tried to move, I couldn't even blink. I was basically paralyzed.
Man, I'll just tell you this, that sounds horrifying. I don't know what I would do in that situation, and you know what, I'd probably just lay there. Yeah, are you alright?
Yeah,
dude, that's freaky as hell. Man, nah, you gotta keep a vacuum near your bed, so next time it comes for you, just suck it up with a vacuum, dude.
Imagine if like Ghostbusters were really onto something and we ignored it this whole time.
Oh. The movie Ghostbusters was actually a documentary, and nobody realized the entire time. So we're just watching it like it's just a normal show.
Guys, you just gotta suck it up. What?
Yeah. Oh man, that's actually crazy though, Rainbow.
Yeah.
Like, is there a reason? Can I ask why do you just call it a shadow? Like a shadow man or something? Just because it like was shadowy, or have you done any research into what it could be?
Yeah, I done research, and people say they seen like a tall shadow man in their room and stuff.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Certain things that I read, they say it's like see-through, or they see like a man with a hat on. What I saw was basically just like a tall man, really slender. It even looked like he had hair on his head.
Do you see that?
Hair on his head?
Did you?
Yeah, I was looking at its head, and it looked like it had hair. And when it left, I was like, the haircut kind of looked like my brother's haircut, so I'm like,
man, that was just your brother walking in, dude. he was cold. He just needed an extra blanket or something, man.
We figured it out. It was your brother.
We got it. It's solved.
No,
Yeah. Now you don't have to worry about staying in that room, because I would. Not to freak you out, but man.
Imagine.
See that
You
shit?
need some sage.
That shit freaks me out. Unless it's an alien, then I'm fine.
But on that ghost shit, no, Alison's out.
Yeah.
I'm out. All that stuff like that. I'm so sorry. Did you feel uneasy during it, or were you like, okay.
Yeah, the entire time I was screaming in my head, basically, because I didn't know what was happening.
Thank you for sharing your story, Rainbow.
Thank you, Rainbow.
I'll for you.
Take care,
Thank
guys.
you, Rainbow. Yeah, thank you very much, dude.
Be
Thanks
safe.
for coming in. Appreciate it.
Of course, of course.
Man.
Bye.
Be safe, please. Bye.
Again.
Bye.
Don't fall asleep again. No, I don't want to scare people, bro.
Yeah.
See you, Rainbow, dude.
Just try not to sleep.
See ya.
Should be fine.
And now we've got Clint Swallow, looking swole, of course. How you doing, dude?
Yeah, hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, nothing much, dude. Chilling.
Oh, as you do.
Okay, you've got a story for us. Let's just dive right in. Hand it to us. Go.
I got a story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So, just for some context, I live in a pretty older town in America, so, like, relatively to the rest of the world, so, like, early 1600s, my town was probably founded, so in my town there's all these, like, old, creepy, like, colonial-style homes that's kind of abandoned and just things that are just there that nobody wants to demolish. So, in elementary school, instead of taking us to, like, an aquarium like most schools do, they decide, let's take all the kids to all the creepy old historical homes and let them walk around and do all that stuff there. So we're walking around all these things, and we're walking on. There's a bunch of like older people in the town, and they're telling us the stories of when they grew up in the town, and there's like probably what the town is famous for. It's called the Keith House. It's like this old colonial home, and it's kind of creepy. Not really. So we get to this house, and they split us into groups, and they're like, okay, this group goes to the kitchen, living room, upstairs, parents' bedroom, all that stuff. So I get in the group that goes into the master bedroom, or what you could call a master bedroom back then. And, like, this place is, like, what you think of when you think of, like, creepy colonial homes. It's got, like, the wooden frame bed with, like, the creepy, like, white drapery with all the designs on it. It's got, like, the old vanity and stuff. It's just not a very okay room to be in, and it was pretty uncomfortable. So we're all sitting in there, and the tour guide's talking to us about stuff, and I'm super curious about all this stuff, and I've seen ghosts in the past and stuff, but I didn't really expect anything on this specific trip. Don't worry, I guess it gets better.
I'm out.
And so the rest of the class leaves, and I'm like at the back of the line, and I feel something touch my shoulder, and I'm like, oh, it's probably like the tour guide or something. And I turn around, and it's picture perfect to what they described the Keith family mother to look like. She was wearing like this like old flowy dress with like purple flowers on the bottom. Her hair was all done up. It was just really uncomfortable, and she didn't say anything to me. She just smiled at me, and she like reached out to grab my hand, and it sounds so weird, but I swear to God this happened. So she brings me back into the room, and my class is gone at this point, and I wasn't even concerned about them, to be honest with you.
Wait, you followed her?
Why the fuck would you follow her?
What the fuck?
You're that guy.
Oh my God!
No! You're that guy in like scary movies where you're like, that guy's gonna die.
Oh, you're
die
right.
first,
Yeah.
you
You die first, dude. Oh my God. You're the one that made it out. You're the one that didn't die first off of a whim, you know?
Yeah, you gain their trust, you know?
No!
Yeah. What? Oh my God.
Okay, keep going. Sorry, but
Yeah. Continue.
So anyway, so so I'm just sitting on the bed and she's walking around and she goes over to the vanity where she has her jewelry and she's showing me the jewelry and it was the strangest thing. I couldn't touch it, but it was
did
there.
she look was she see-through?
No, she looked like she didn't look like a corpse or anything. She definitely looked older, like they would have looked back then.
But she looked like you could touch her?
Oh, it looked like you could try to, but if you did, you would go right through it.
What?
I mean, she's there, but she's not.
I think I know what happened to you, Clint. I think you just got fooled by one of those people who were really into their role play.
Wait, no, I need to know.
Place.
I was gonna say that.
Like a tour guide who's just like living for it, you know? She's like, I am the ghost of the woman who once lived here. You know, and you were like, oh, man. No, continue, bro. Sorry, I'm just playing. Keep going.
That could have happened for all we know. Got like a smoke machine in the back with smoke pouring.
Yeah, exactly.
So she tells me to like wait on the bed, like ushers me. Like I'm already sitting on the bed.
Is
and she's
this
like,
sounding sexy?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I was like 8, so I mean that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah. Okay, I take that back. I take all of that back. Sorry. Anyway, yes.
But,
so.
She ushers me to like stay on the bed, and she leaves the room. And I'm thinking, I'm like, it was like it's kind of like the last caller where they were talking about like sleep paralysis and stuff. It was like I wanted to leave, but I couldn't leave. It was like one of those things. I felt like I was trapped there, and if I left, something bad was gonna happen. Because if you believe in ghosts, you don't piss off ghosts. That's like the number one.
Yeah, you don't.
And so she comes back. I can't even. It felt like time stopped. Like I didn't even know what time it was. And she comes back, and the 2 kids come in this time. So the kids is Keith. This is the kid's name is Keith, and his sister. Who, she doesn't really matter. Her name's not important. And so they bring in. You guys know like the creepy Raggedy Ann dolls. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes. What the hell? Why is this getting creepier?
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm loving it.
Right?
You should write movies. Keep going. Keep going.
So,
Yeah.
So this is the same Raggedy saw in the kids' room before we went to this room because it was a tour around and stuff. And this was the same Raggedy Ann. And Keith, the kid, he had one of those like, I think they're like called farmer dolls. They don't have eyes or anything. It's just like they're just like blank faces and they're dressed up as farmers.
That's actually, for some reason, I know about this because I have been watching Breaking Amish when I can't sleep. Which is a reality.
Yeah, like the Amish village.
Amish dolls because they don't have faces. All right, okay, yes.
So they come in, and she like they come in and they start playing with the toys. And, you know, I'm 8, so I'm a younger kid, so I'm like, oh, well, I mean, I guess they're kind of my age. I didn't really know how old they were, so I just kind of sat there and I played with them. And I don't remember what happened after that, but all I remember is I heard footsteps coming up, and I'm like, oh, so now probably the dad's coming in to, like, kick me out or something because it's too late and it's dinner time. But no, the guy who ran the house comes in, and he shakes me, and I'm like, what? And then he's like, what are you doing here? Like, your class left like 3 hours ago. And I'm like, what do you mean my class left? Like, they were just right there. And he's like, no, they're gone.
How did you get home? How did it end?
He took me out, and then he basically gave me his phone, and I called my mom, and she came and got me.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, right? That's crazy. It is crazy.
Is that real? Is that really? Did that really?
Yeah.
You swear?
Swear to God. Swear on my life.
Oh, man.
It happened, yeah.
I'm playing with none of that. No, man.
If only I had the vacuum, Cray. I could have.
You should have had the vacuum or something, dude. This is why you got to carry around one of those little portable vacuums.
I don't like it. I'm going to sage myself after this. Wait.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I mean,
I got a crystal.
Don't just sit there. Yeah.
Don't transmit your demons to us, Clint. Don't transmit nothing to me, dude. You're like a ghost STD, you know? Because I don't want that to happen to me, dude. You know, man, nah, I ain't playing with that. No way. Well, thanks for the story, Clint. I got nothing to say. What do you even say to that story? Damn.
Thank you, Clint, for joining.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was just the best cosplay. Let's be real. What?
It was the cosplay. That's what I'm voting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
See, I
hope so anyway.
I feel like so Fruit and I are like the opposite because I'm just like, why did you play with those dead children? Like, I'm not even questioning this.
Do you guys think, like, ghosts, if they are real, do you think they are, like, evil or good? Do you think there's a mix? Like, what do you guys reckon?
I think there's a mix of vibe.
Yeah.
Mix?
There's always,
where you go.
in order to have a positive, you need a negative, and
ooh, yeah.
You know, something dark, you need light. Like anything that exists, you need bad and good for it to be. So, yeah.
If you can't touch a ghost, what can a ghost do to you? It can't touch you in return. So
yeah, can a ghost touch me?
What can it do?
Maybe. She tapped me on the shoulder, so probably.
I don't even want to talk
that's
about
crazy.
it. It's freaking me out.
Yeah.
I've had things happen where I felt like a sharp breath, like somewhere on me.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
Like,
I'll play on the floor with the kids, but don't start breathing on me.
Yeah.
Don't breathe on me, dude. Man.
Wait, where's my crystal?
Well, thank you, Clint. Yeah, get the crystal out. Get the crystal out. But thank you for that, Clint. Thanks for sharing your story, man. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Catch you later, dude. Thank you.
Catch you.
Yeah, you guys, look, we need some good vibes here. I'm just gonna give some good vibes out. We're all good.
Okay, so we got another caller. We got Cass. How you doing, Cass?
Hi, I'm good.
Okay, how freaky is yours out of 10 first?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
7.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's like multiple things that happen on different occasions.
Oh, okay.
Because
That bumps it to an 8.
House, so.
Okay, that bumps it to a 9.
Why?
Hit us with the haunted house. I'm ready.
Haunted houses are the scariest things.
Okay, hit us with it, Cass. Give us it.
So basically, like a few years ago when my parents split up, like my dad moved in with my grandma. So I would spend a week there and a week at my mom's. And before this, I'd never had a paranormal experience in my life. So we were there for a few months. It was like fine. And then one night I woke up in the middle of the night. Like I didn't really know what was going on. I was really spooked for no reason. I just had really bad vibes, if that made sense. And I heard some footsteps coming from the other room, but like my dad was sleeping in that room. He was sleeping on the couch that night, so I didn't really think anything of it. So it kind of happened a few times, which was really weird because he would stop snoring and then I would hear my dad walking around and then he would start snoring again. So I'm like, he's just getting up and going back to sleep really frequently. But there was one time, the last time that it happened, I heard the footsteps and the snoring at the same time. So it wasn't my dad and he never sleepwalks. So like it couldn't have been him. And I heard the fridge door open and close, which is so weird because I'd never heard anything like that happen before. And it was like 4 a.m. So it really freaked me out and I didn't get any sleep that night. And that was only the first thing that I had ever experienced in that house. Eventually, like more things kept on happening, just like footsteps I would hear throughout the house in the middle of the night. Like the toilet would flush on its own. I would hear like these tapping noises on the wall too. So one particular thing that happened, like one night, it was like 2:30 a.m. And I was up and I had this garbage can in the corner of my room and it had like a plastic bag in it. So like if like the wind like swooshed it or like anything touched it, it would crumple, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I heard it start to crumple one night. Like the plastic started like rustling. So I was like, what the hell? Like maybe my window's open. My window wasn't open and I heard footsteps passing by it. So it was like somebody was brushing by it with their leg, but there was no one there. So that definitely freaked me out a little bit.
No.
Dude,
yeah.
that's crazy.
I'm already noting.
Yeah, like it happened right next to my bed too. So I was like, no, thank you.
I have an explanation. No. You either live in Luigi's mansion or someone's living in your walls, and I need you to get out of the house right now because that is so creepy. I hate the fridge opening and shutting, and the footsteps. That'd get me bad.
Because like that takes a lot of like I guess it takes like minimal strength for a human being, but for like nothing, it takes quite a bit of strength to open and close a fridge door. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah, definitely.
So it was just
I don't like. Did you? No.
Okay.
Wait, do you have a pet?
No, not in that house. I have a pet.
Because Fruity thinks the pet
there.
opened the fridge.
Pets can't open fridges.
Okay.
What kind of cat are you raising over there, Fruity? Goddamn, what kind of cat can open a fridge?
It's not my cat. Olivia's cat can.
I literally understand. I understand where Fruit's coming from because right now I'm going to believe that it's a pet because I'm too scared.
Yeah, it was a pet that I don't have.
You need to.
Oh man.
Sage.
Neighbor's pet.
Just like.
I don't live in that house, thankfully, anymore. But it kind of has a resolution, like towards the end.
You knocked the house down.
So basically,
you got your
like,
vacuum
after,
cleaner.
Like a month or so, I had moved into this into another room in the house. Like I was sharing a room with my brother. It was really annoying. So I finally moved into my own room, and I felt a presence in that room. I never saw anything, but I had this image in my mind of this like shadow man that would live in the corner of my room.
Jesus.
In my mind, he was like 8 feet tall, wearing like a trench coat and like this massive hat. It was really gross. I hated it. Because I never saw anything, but like my mind just created this image of him. So I don't know if that was me like trying to scare myself even more, or if like I was actually getting that connection with this spirit. And I would feel him watch me while I slept. It was really hard to sleep. I could not sleep in that room. I never got a good night's sleep in there.
You connecting with that spirit? Oh,
yeah, I would always feel him watching
Cass.
me.
Dude.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Tell it to go away. Just be like, go. I don't want you here.
I would sometimes, but I got a very bad vibe from this spirit. Like,
then you have to be like, get the fuck away.
I did that once and it stopped. Like, I heard some tapping and I like really firmly told it to like stop because I was trying to do homework and I couldn't focus and it cut out. So,
I don't like this. I don't like this.
I didn't like it either, to be honest.
Are you okay?
I love it.
For, like,
are you okay?
Years almost. I mean, like physically, like okay, like mentally, it kind of like messed me up a little bit because before then I was very skeptical. I was like, maybe they exist, maybe they don't. You know, I love a good like ghost hunting TV show, but I never really thought anything of it until I experienced it all for myself.
Would it make you feel better?
And what made it so much worse is that no one else had any experiences in that house except for myself, so I thought I was going crazy.
Would it make you feel better if I said it was me the whole time that went to... I was really bored and like uninspired musically, and I just needed to haunt someone.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
It was more like a roommate than a haunting.
It was me. I was real lonely, and I didn't know how to tell you.
It makes me feel so much better.
Okay.
At least I'm not crazy.
I've always thought that, like, if I did become a ghost, I'd haunt people 100%. Oh,
But
especially
how would
the
you haunt
haters.
them? Would you help them out, or would you?
No, I'm not going to help them, Fruity. I'm going to scare the shit out of them. No, I'm not there to help none of my haters.
But like honestly, all you like the best thing you can do about this kind of stuff is just like, I'm so freaked out. Why did I agree to talk about this shit?
Welcome.
But like, you have to surround yourself with like good energy, and nothing can hurt you. It's really, really important.
Like, I'm not very like religious per se, so like I didn't pray or anything, but I definitely like kept my energy good so that nothing could get attached, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like you were saying, like at the beginning of the podcast, how you kind of have like weird things happen to you. So like I kind of figured out a couple months after living in this house that my mom's half of the family is a bit psychic.
Right.
I don't know if I believe that, to be fair. Like it could very well be true.
They could just be intuitive. Psychic's just a word for like picking up on energy.
Like my mom's cousin is like a full-blown psychic, and my mom was like, maybe you have like some traits, maybe that's why you're picking up on it and no one else is, which really helped ease my, you know, you're going crazy thoughts. So like I don't know, it was definitely a weird experience. And the funny thing is that I told my grandmother who lived in the house everything one night. Like I told her about all of my experiences, like everything that had ever happened to me in that house. And after that night it stopped. Because I thought it was my great grandfather, and I think he just wanted to like her to know that he was still there and watching over her. Right. That's why he was bugging me so much, because he knew that he could connect with me and that I would know that he was there. So when I finally told her everything stopped. It was so weird.
Well, I'm really glad it had like
a...
I still felt that presence.
Oh, except for the thing in the room, the most scary bit of the entire story.
Was still
hell no! Why'd you say? No, it got rid of everything, didn't it, Cass? Everything was gone. Yeah, well, everything was gone.
Flushing in the middle of the night, so like at least
thank goodness!
Water.
And the fridge? Yes, thank God.
Well, that's good.
Well, thank you, Cass,
and
we're all glad you're all good. You know, thank you very much for coming on the show and telling us. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Thank you, Cass. Have a lovely day or night.
You too.
Thank you.
Good vibes your way.
See, I find it real hard to like really not find a solution to these things in my head when someone tells a story. I find it really, really hard not to.
Like you're looking for like I don't believe in ghosts and stuff like that, but I love hearing people who do. You know what I mean? And I'm always open that, man, I could be wrong. You know, like maybe they are out there. So I love hearing people talk about their life experiences. I think it's great.
I just think it's really important that with things we can't explain, we have to always keep an open mind. And I don't think things are black and white. Like, there's no way, like, nothing exists past what we see and feel. you know, but there's also, we don't know what it is, but there's no way that it's just like literally like, that's it. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well, we've got another caller, Yazzie. Yazzie, are you there? Am I saying that right, Yazzie? How are you, dude?
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Not too bad,
good,
man. So you've got a paranormal, supernatural, spooky story to tell us?
Yeah, I have a doozy for you.
A doozy? Oh,
No,
man,
I don't
come
want
on,
this
man.
anymore. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So first off, a little bit of context behind the story. So I'm actually Native American from the United States. I'm from Arizona here, and I come from the Navajo Nation. It's one of the indigenous tribes out this way, and we have our own forms of scary stories, spooky stories that they tell the young ones when they're growing up and whatnot. So with these stories, there's a little bit of validity that goes with them too. The story that I have takes place 2 years back, where I was driving, but a little bit about what I'm going to be talking about. So we have these things known as skinwalkers within our tribe, and they're pretty freaky. Yeah,
Sounds terrifying. What
do skinwalkers look like?
Yeah. What is a skinwalker?
Yeah, so those are they're sort of like so within our tribe we have this belief of good and bad, this natural balance. We have our healers, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum we have people that just want to do harm to others.
Like a balance, you need that, right?
Oh yeah, that's in life. It's in every culture, every
Polarity.
religion, and whatnot.
Yeah,
exactly. So with our tribe, we have the exact same thing. So on the darker end, these people, they practice what we call witchcraft, and they practice the dark arts and whatnot. And their whole purpose is to do harm unto others, wish harm unto others. They affect people's lives. They bring about negativity, a bad vibe, and just overall, that's their goal. They're evil, is what it is. So with that in mind, these creatures, they exist all throughout our stories and whatnot that they tell, the young ones, and they're still prevalent today. People are coming up with stories every now and then. They're in the news sometimes, out in the Navajo Nation. The story goes is that they were once people at some point, and then they committed acts against nature. They to the point of like murder or something completely outrageous and awful. Then it got them to that status where they were sort of endowed with these abilities to sort of shapeshift into animals by wearing the pelts of these animals. The most prevalent one nowadays, the one that's most popularized, is a skinwalker that wears the pelt of a coyote, a person who wears the pelt of a coyote and takes on characteristics. They can shapeshift, and again, their whole overall purpose is to do harm unto others and freak people out, spook them, bring about fear, and just naturally, that carries on into the person's life. And a little bit into the story and experience that I went through. I was driving on a long stretch of road one time. The reservation is situated on a very rural area.
Do you live on the reservation?
Yeah, so I live on the reservation. I have family situated all throughout, but you have to travel like miles and miles to even get to somebody's house. It's like dirt as far as the eye can see. So I was traveling one night on this road, just cruising back home after a long shift at work and whatnot, and it was dark out. It was completely dark. The only light source came from the moon there in the sky and the occasional cars driving by on this dark road. We're taught not to really deviate your vision, your line of sight away from the road when you're driving. Well, any person.
I hope so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
I pray that's what people are taught, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, but just naturally, people get those little ticks to want to look to the left or right or something like that. They get those feelings of being watched or something like that.
Yeah.
But so I was driving, just cruising down the road, and I came across this elderly woman on the side of the road, and she was, just walking there. She had a little scarf on her head and everything, and she's just walking there, and I didn't think anything of it. You don't want to pick up pedestrians or anything like that. So I just kept cruising along. Somewhere a few miles down the road, I came across the exact same woman walking on the side of the road right there.
Man.
Yeah. So just naturally, I started, all these thoughts are going through my head, right? And I just had this like feeling of wanting to just stop and just, see what was going on here. So I stopped the car, and, I rolled down the window, and I asked this lady, because it's an elderly woman, so, I try to help wherever I can. That's just how I was brought up. So, I rolled down the window. I kind of asked her in my native tongue, just kind of what are you doing? What's going on? And said that she needed a ride to get home.
Oh no!
Now keep in mind, this is like miles. Like you're miles away from anything close by, like nearest gas stations.
Right.
Miles away. So she mentions this, and I pick her up. She gets in and whatnot.
You picked her up. You picked up the old freaky woman that you saw twice.
I picked her up.
Yes.
I'm a good person, Cray. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, man! I'm leaving that old lady to walk the whole way. Oh, yeah. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
No, you're fine. Yeah. So she gets in, right? She gets in. She gets herself settled in and whatnot. She doesn't put on a seatbelt. I have to.
Okay, that's your first.
Remind her, put
that's
it
your
on
first
and
red flag. Just FYI.
Yeah, the seatbelt. Yeah, Alison's right.
So I'm sorry. So I cruise along. I'm not even. I mean, I'm concerned about her sitting in my passenger seat at this point right now, and it's already freaky enough as it is. I'm trying to make conversation with her, trying to get an idea of who she is, what she's doing out here, and the whole time that she's there, sitting in my passenger seat, she's mumbling.
No.
Some of our traditional tongue, our native language, but it's a form that I'm not familiar with, so it came across as a bit of like spooky to me. Yeah. And it made me feel uneasy inside. I got, my gut just sank in. So feeling uncomfortable.
Did she talk to you, like acknowledge that you were there? Do you know what I mean?
Or no. Yeah, she ghosted me. She was just like straightforward, staring at the road. Okay. She didn't even look at me. That's even when she got in, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Adding to my bank of imagination of this.
That's terrifying.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So she's sitting here, we're cruising along, just driving and whatnot, and I get this feeling of come over me of just unease, and so I pull over to the side, and at that point I tell her to get out. She gets out, but she doesn't look at me at all. She doesn't acknowledge me. She doesn't give me any second glance or anything like that. Not a word. She just gets out, and so she closes the door, and I just book it. I'm on the road. I'm just driving.
Sorry. How did you know how to? She just like walked out without like telling you to stop the car?
Yeah, so no, I pulled over because I couldn't, it was freaky enough to have her in here mumbling without her seatbelt on, not even looking at me, not acknowledging. Yeah, so I was just, like I said, I was just trying to, get a feel for what she was doing out there, just kind of talking and trying to make conversation. I had to feel comfortable to have somebody in my ride. Kind of stupid to pick her up. Okay. But
well, I'm glad you became smart when she was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I'm cruising along again. She's way behind me at this point, probably miles back.
Okay.
And at this point, I'm driving, and like I said, we're taught never to really deviate guys from the road, as any good driver would. And I'm cruising along. It's completely dark, and I feel a little bit more comfortable seeing cars driving by every now and then, but it's not enough to make me, forget about the fact that I just picked up somebody that was being completely nutty in the back or in my passenger seat.
Yeah.
So I'm cruising along, and for whatever reason, I get this feeling to want to look over to my left, like just look, dart my head a little bit, and just kind of peek. Yeah. So I'm cruising along, I'm doing my thing, and at maybe I'd say 3 miles down, I'm driving, and I just peek my head. I just peeked my eye to the left there, and my entire body sunk. I had chills galore. I just grasped the steering wheel and I froze. My entire body locked up, after, in shock of what I had seen. I literally just started, but I could make out exactly what I saw. So I was driving, looked to my left, and I froze. No. And I just kept staring at the road.
No.
So what I saw was this old lady running alongside the ride that I was in. I was in a truck, and I was going maybe over 70 miles an hour.
No.
And this lady was on my left right here, and she's right next to me running, keeping up with the vehicle I'm in.
What the fuck?
And
did you get sleep the night before?
Oh, I actually got goosebumps.
I did.
So...
Yeah, so she's staring dead in my eyes. She's staring right at me. And the thing was, it freaked me out, and I'll never forget it to this day. She had yellow eyes. She had yellow eyes, and she was staring right. This felt like she was staring right through me. And she had like a snarl on her face, and she had like sharp teeth on the top row of her mouth.
No,
that is.
I remember that, and also I looked down, and not only was she sprinting in a full-out sprint, keeping up with the truck and everything. I wasn't freaky enough. She had literal like dog feet running.
I'm a head out. All right, no.
That is the creepiest one of tonight. That's like the most.
I don't know why, but like that sounds like I don't even know how to speak right now. Like a short story that needs to be made into like an episode of something.
Yeah.
You should write that down. Yeah. Maybe don't write that down because I don't.
You should make movies.
Yeah.
That's great. Just about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I managed to make it home that evening.
Are you okay?
I went inside. Yeah, I'm okay at this point. Believe it or not, that
is this real? Did this really happen?
No. Oh yeah, 100%. This happened. Believe it or not, this is not the scariest thing that has happened to me.
Oh my god, I need to know more, but I also don't.
Yeah, I'm more than willing to share more, but I understand I'm on the time limit and everything.
Yeah,
but this is not the scariest thing that's happened to you.
Why would you?
Is that because the other thing's too scary to say? Is that why? Is it you don't want to?
I don't want to know.
Because I'm super skeptical, and this one actually kind of got me in a little way.
I feel like I don't.
There's solutions that's obvious to me, so I'm freaking a little bit, but.
Yeah, so I managed to get home, and I locked the doors immediately. Yeah, I ran inside, locked the doors, and I called up my grandparents, and I told them about the situation and what had happened, and their only response is just don't acknowledge it, don't think about it, don't let it affect you, because in our culture, traditionally, if you think about stuff like this, more of it will happen, and also it'll affect your life negatively.
That's
outside
true.
of that.
Right.
That's what my mum always told me. She said that you need to surround yourself with really good energy and don't acknowledge it and don't invite those thoughts in.
Yeah. So a lot of these things that I talk about and whatnot, they are considered taboo within our culture to talk about. To even speak the name is something that
really
you need to go.
People won't do.
You need to maybe don't talk about it. Here's the thing. I totally feel that, and I think talking about it, I had a friend recently tell me about a really bad experience he had supernaturally, and at the end of the story I was like, don't keep talking about it, you can't talk about this again, you just can't. So
there's a sort of bad luck aspect to it, it'll carry on at some point throughout your life. You'll experience negativity, hardship.
Well then, you know what, you need to stop talking about it, and I'm just gonna send you good vibes.
Yeah.
Actually, I appreciate you doing this for the stream.
Yeah.
But this is your life, and I want you to have a great life. And I'm honestly I'm sending you good vibes right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Yazzie. Thank you so much for sharing. That was the. I don't want to rank people's experiences in their life in order, but that was the most intense one of the night that actually got me. That one got me.
After that, we need to talk about something positive. But hey, that's really dope that you did share that with us, and I'm very grateful for you doing that. I just make sure you're okay and protect yourself.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to share that story with you guys. Just want to say one more thing. A big fan of you, Loserfruit, Cray, and Alison. I love you guys, and big love here from the Navajo Nation.
Say hello from
Hey,
us,
thank you.
And send my love to
Send
everyone.
much love. Thank you, Yazzie.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Oh man,
Someone just
that
said,
one got me bad.
Someone just said in the chat, can we look at memes for 5 minutes.
I'm literally getting ice cream.
Someone, like, if my friends are watching right now, like, send me a meme, please.
It's worse when you look up what a skinwalker is. Just saying, it's worse when you look up what that is.
Really? Are you okay?
Yeah, the image. Yeah, it's fine. It just gave a little little addition to the skin.
Okay.
Woo.
Well,
but no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't know if we should keep doing more stories or just try to,
maybe
do more positive things.
let's go positive. Let's end this on a positive note because
we do have 2 more, but I don't know if
that's up to you
I
guys.
don't know. Keep on going. That one got me because it wasn't just in a house with things moving around.
Yeah.
That one.
I don't want to keep going, but the ones that are linked to like real culture, if you know what I'm trying to say, like ones that are like from folk tales from years and years and years. Yeah, tales.
Okay,
like
guys, Quicks just sent me a meme. Thank you.
Guys,
Fruit, how are you feeling about all this stuff now? Like, I'm curious, like, because we've gotten, a few stories now, and, like, at the beginning, you were a skeptic, and that's totally fine. I just want to know if you're, like, feeling a little bit more swayed to having, that there might be something more.
I think it's just when it comes to things like old folk tales, old, like, history or knowing that, and, like, just, I don't know, his story, I don't know, no, that I can believe in, that sort of thing. But when it's like seeing shadows or seeing things, I think it's just your mind. I think it's where your mind's at, and mind tricking you into doing certain things. I think mind is super powerful and can trick you to believing in certain things. No, I definitely, I can imagine, like, I'm open to a lot of logical solutions as well as spiritual solutions.
I think, honestly, it's always going to be a bit of both. I think that, like, we are made to question things. That's, like, part of how humans think. And I think if we just, like, took things at face value all the time, I don't know if that's really how we're programmed, We're curious, very curious.
Ma'am.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do another one. I think we should.
I love how you guys are just like, noping out. Like,
I mean, let's ask the chat.
I respect it.
What are people saying?
Both chats, everyone's spamming more.
Okay, everyone wants more. Okay.
Hello, Adam. How you doing, dude?
Cray, what's up, my man?
Yeah, chilling, getting spooked, getting scared.
Okay.
So you've got to give us it. Just go for it.
All right. Now, I will just tell you guys straight up, right, to start with. Also, Fruity and Alison, hello to you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
This is not as fantastical as any of these stories you've heard tonight, but what I want to put out there is I am more in Fruity's camp. I am definitely a skeptic, and I believe that many, many so-called paranormal events can be easily explained away by natural phenomena. Mm-hmm. That being said, I've experienced things myself that I'll share with you real quick. So I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is about an hour north of Chicago, if you guys know where that.
No idea.
We have, it's in the middle of America.
Okay, gotcha.
Right,
so desert area?
I've driven past it.
No,
it's like
just
cornfields, right? Like.
Okay.
It's It's a big city, but it's around it is farmland. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So about 9 or 10 years ago, I was hired at the Federal Veterans Hospital here in Milwaukee. It's a huge facility, serves veterans, and it's a very old facility. There's parts of it dating back to the Civil War, very historical. And I still work at the hospital, but the job I'm going to talk about, I left years ago. Now, some of the buildings are deserted. They're in the process of being renovated, but they've sat empty for years. And if you want to be interactive, if you guys want to Google, or anyone in the chat wants to Google this, to see the building I'm talking about, if you Google Milwaukee Veterans Hospital, Old Main, I was hired because it's such a large facility. It's a federal facility. I was hired to the support staff of the federal police department that is stationed there. So I joined, and growing up around there, I kind of just joked like, oh yeah, the haunted stuff. And these men that I worked with are ex-military, very conservative, not prone to, telling stories, It's just not in their nature. And they matter of factly started telling me stuff like, and I won't go into these stories because I don't feel that unless I experienced it, I don't want to be like telling tales like, oh, I heard this and I heard that. But
yeah,
they would talk about noises, voices, people, a man in a hat appearing in a window. The thing you have to remember is this is a locked down, secure facility protected by federal police officers. There are alarms, there are motion detectors, and stuff like that. If anything goes off, if anything is seen, police have to respond, get inside, and make sure that there isn't like a trespasser or a squatter or something like that. So, and again, I'm a little bit more on the skeptical side, but I'm interested in hearing about this. One night at midnight, I was leaving from the actual current hospital. Fruity has it up on the screen there. As I was driving past, or she did. Okay, actually, Fruit, keep that one there. So that tower to the left that you see on the edge, I'm driving up that road, and in that window on the bottom floor is a blue light. And I glanced, and I was like, oh, it's a weird reflection. And then I slowed down. I'm like, but the light's inside the room. It was about the size of a tennis ball. Blue light kind of moving around. So my first thought is I'm calling dispatch. There's someone in there screwing around. I call dispatch. I say, hey, it's OPSEC. I'm leaving. I just saw this someone with a flashlight, or there's like a blue ball of light in this corner if you want to send a squad over. And I go home for the night. Next day I show up for work, and some of the guys say, oh, you saw the blue light. I said, yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, we don't know what that is. You know, it's people see it. We go in there. We have no idea. So I said, yo, can I go in there some night with you guys? Like, I'd love to get in there. And like,
you want to investigate it? That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, dude, because I'm just like, this is this cool old building, and it's supposed to be haunted. I'd like to see if there's other explanations and stuff like that. And
yeah,
what a cool chance to get inside this old historic building, right? Yeah. So we get inside. So this is maybe like 2 weeks later. These two officers are like, all right, we take the squad over there. We unsecure. We turn off the alarms. We go inside, and we go in through the back, which is towards the left. And first thing I do, I start walking through, and two officers are ahead of me, and they go through that room. And that room has 2 exits, 2 doors. So they already had walked through the room, and I was walking through, and just kind of looking like, what could a blue light be in here? And there were already walls between me and them. They had already exited this room. And as I'm walking through, in my left ear, a distinct voice said, "Get out." Ooh. And
no!
I stopped.
Gotcha.
And I stopped because I called out to the guys. I was like, "Hey, did you guys just like breathe weird or say something?" And they were so far away, and they called back. They're like, "No, nothing." And so I tried like walking through the room again. Like, did I shuffle my feet weird? Did I do? And there was nothing I could do to recreate the exact distinct voice in my left ear that said that. So I told the guys, and they were like, "Oh wow, that's crazy because that's where the light is." Blah blah blah. So we went up to the 4th floor where there was like sort of an old social gathering area, and we were just standing in the dark. It's important to note this building does not have, other than emergency utilities and stuff like that, there's no, the water's turned off, the steam system's turned off, there's no pipes clanging, right? One of the officers is standing there, and I hear him whispering. He goes, "I hear footsteps. Do you hear footsteps?" "I hear footsteps." And I don't hear anything, and the other officer doesn't hear anything. And I'm just kind of standing there like, nah, I just, it's something else. I don't know what you're saying. So I decided, I don't know why I decided this. I kind of crouched down, and I put my hands on the floor. So I got my hands on the floor, and I'm like, I don't hear anything. And suddenly I start feeling like footsteps approaching, like heeled, like either like a hard shoe a nurse would wear, or like a soldier's boot, like an old, clomp clomp. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I whisper, I'm like, yeah, I actually kind of feel something. And then I started hearing the footsteps approach from around this like divider. And clear as day, footsteps coming up to us, stopped about 10 feet away. And I said, and they just stopped, and we just stood there for a while, and they're like, oh, I guess that's it. I was like, okay, well, I experienced something there. I can't explain those things. And then I tried, because I had gone into like, could it be pipes clanging? Could it be vibrations? Could it be, but it's really hard to replicate naturally the human gait, especially distinct with like heels on. So even with like matrixing in your ears where you make things sound like certain things, that's not what was happening. So those were 2 experiences I had. And then months later, and there's probably pictures of this online too. The back part of the roof collapsed during snowfall. It was obviously it's an old building, but a heavy snowfall had collapsed the roof. And of course, I was on duty. The alarms are going off. You know, they're like, oh, like something bad happened, catastrophic, because there's multiple alarms going off in different areas. Police get over there. They get inside. The first police arrive, and they see that the roof had caved in on this one part and blown a dusting of snow throughout a good portion of one of the floors. And they were there within less than 5 minutes of this happening and inside. And they took pictures of it. So I did see these, so I'm not telling tales out of school. There were footprints in the dusting of snow going from left to right, and they looked like boot prints.
What?
Oh, hell no.
Hell no. I don't know why, but like every time someone's telling us a story on this, like I'm becoming more and more like it just sounds so real. Like I don't doubt you at all.
Yeah,
Not that I never doubted anyone, but like
no, and I try to be like real matter of fact.
Very matter of fact. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, you sound very matter of fact. I'm gonna ask
because I'm like fruity. I'm like I just think a lot of this stuff can be explained away.
Yeah.
And I know how when something happens to you, it can be very believable. But I am the type of person like you know, Cray would have dipped. I was like, let me see if I can stay here and recreate that, because I want to make sure like it wasn't my mind playing tricks on me. No, it was. I can still hear it. I can still hear the man's voice plain as day. My left ear saying, "Get out," and the footsteps approaching. Like there is. I have really tried to explain it away, not out of fear or anything else, just because I am super skeptical of a lot of the stuff.
Do you know what's crazy? Is I like completely believe you. I had like one experience one time where I forgot to set my alarm and I had to wake up at 8 a.m. for something really important. And this is when I was back living in Sydney, and it was like a really important thing I couldn't be late for. And I actually forgot to set my alarm. And I was having like a very, very deep sleep, and I'm not even joking. While I was sleeping, something screamed in one side of my ear and went, "Wake up!" Like screamed it. Like, "Wake up!" Like literally, that's like the only way I can explain it. And I woke up like this really quickly, and I looked at my phone. It was 8 a.m. on the dot.
Ghosts do be in alarms and shit, though.
There's good sides to everything, and there's crappy, horrible sides to everything. And I actually read recently, like, the reason why we remember such traumatic things a lot more, and like trauma stays with us, and like all the bad negative things like usually are the things that are brought up or we talk about more, is because humans back in like primitive times would, like, when something bad happened, they were taught to remember that more, because it was like a survival technique to like learn and like not have that happen again. So it's actually stayed with us like that. So every time like we do have like, you know, something that we can't explain or whatever, like we do assume it's negative.
You guys, I know you got other guys lined up. I just want to take a second to say congratulations to Alison on all your success and continued musical creativity. Lufu, been watching you for years, and working at a hospital right now, it's really great to be able to even look back at old content and just get a nice distraction, and your cats are cute as hell. And Cray, congrats on the 1 mil, my man. I was with you.
Thank you.
I was with you a really long time ago.
1 million?
And 1 million subscribers, my man. And Cray, I just got to, as a married man who's married to his absolute dream, you will know. You will know.
You have been watching the streams, huh?
Oh yeah, my man. No, I'm saying because like
love troubles.
Yeah, and it's like, and you can't force it. It's like they say when you're looking for the right house, like when you guys are looking for the click house, you just knew, like, oh, this is the one. Like, this feels right. And when you look for your own house, you might say, you walk in and you go, yeah, you will know. You'll meet the girl, and it might not be on the first date. You might just be like, wow, she's really cool. But in quick time, you'll realize this person feels right, and she feels like nothing that I've felt before. It'll happen, my man. You just gotta.
Oh man, your partner's a lucky woman. That's awesome,
well,
dude.
That is like honestly,
that's really
what
beautiful.
Every girl would wish a guy to say about them, and I'm really happy that you're happy. See, we're ending on positive notes here, guys. This is great.
There you go.
Yeah,
yeah, thank you, Adam. Thank you so
thanks.
much.
You got it, guys. Take care. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you, dude.
What a guy.
See ya.
What a guy.
Man, that guy was lovely. That guy was so nice.
What the hell?
It's been one of my favorite podcasts, actually, of all time.
Yeah, me too.
So
Me saying me too, it's like my first.
You're so natural at it, though. It's really good. You're very easy to talk to.
Yeah, this has been like an amazing thing. I'm just definitely going to have to watch like South Park tonight.
It's been fun. Did you guys want to wrap it up here, or?
I think this is a great place to wrap it up. We've been going for like an hour more than I thought we would be, to be honest.
You know
we talked for ages.
I miss Australia so much, and you guys are like making me feel so happy. I don't know if you can see me do that, but like, yeah. But yeah, you guys, like, if you're on my chat right now, you should definitely follow these guys. Crayator, that's how you spell it on your thing, right? Crayator.
You said it the American way. It's Crayator.
Crayator. So you got Crayator and Loserfruit, both sick cunts. They are actually sick cunts. And I think we're going to be talking again another time.
Yes.
So if you guys like that,
we should.
Yeah. I think we should too. This was great.
We should do more stories and everything. Yeah, it'd be great.
I'm down. If you guys think we should do a part 2, let us know, because I'm down to do a part 2 for sure.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone who called in. Really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a little bit daunting, coming on here and like telling personal stories and things that you've kept to yourself for so long. But I think it's really brave and really cool that you come on and you share so much. That's actually unreal. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For everyone from my stream, I'm just saying that Alison's channel is A Wonderland, and she just got partnered today. Well, she was partnered before and lost,
A
but she got it back again.
I got repartnered. Yeah.
Isn't it Wednesday? Wonderland
Wednesdays. Yeah. I wasn't streaming the last couple of weeks because I was working on music, but I'm back, and I think Loserfruit and I are going to be doing some more stuff together, and hopefully Crayator.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be unreal.
Cool. All right.
All right, guys.
Now I have to figure out how to end this. Oh, it says end stream. Okay, cool. Bye, guys.